Hello, everyone. This is Thursday night. It's a bonus Rebel show. But myself and Mr. B are going to peruse some news and media stories. Hello, everyone, and you're very welcome to the Man United agenda. As always, Thursdays at this stage, we do 5 topics that we've randomly plucked from the newspapers and the media circuit. And myself and Mr. B are going to wrap our jaws around it and see what's going on. But Mr. B, how are you doing, sir?
I'm good, Rebel. As I said before, I just need this. I need my last day at work. I'm running on empty at the moment, so I'm good. I'm good. I'm
Yeah.
waiting for Man United to surprise me with by battering a team. I'm hoping it comes at some stage this season where we actually put 4 past somebody. But yeah, I'm good, Rebel man. I'm good. How you been?
Not too bad, no, not too bad. Knocked out a wee show regarding this Super League business, and it is rearing its head again within the stories that I picked tonight. But big shout out to the 7-foot giant of the United agenda who's whining and dying his woman instead of coming here talking football with us. So if you're wondering
Priorities, man. Priorities, man.
well, there's 18 of you wonderful people in the chat, so please do like, share, subscribe. But
And
Mr.
don't be and sorry, guys, if there's 18 of you in and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we've got 6 people saying howdy. It means there's 17 of you now sitting in silence. Guys, just say hi. We always say hi back, especially if you're a newbie. Sorry, Rebel, for cutting you off.
No worries. I will say hello to Big T, Solo, DK Wilson, We Deserve Better, and Big G, all in the chat. We will be going through your comments later on. But on the menu tonight, Ratcliffe drops the axe. Our striker friend that we spoke about a couple of weeks ago, Serhu Garassi, rears his head again. More clubs have rejected the Super League. Manchester United fans have a right to be worried. And Anthony, not Martial, but Anthony, is his time up. Mr. B, anything there kind of fluttering the heartstrings?
I'm ready to rock on all of them. I've said that I've been out of the loop for most of the day. So I just want you to fill me in on what's going on, guys, to be fair, Rebel. I want you to fill me in. So look, we'll start with the top one.
Very good. And Subbits is saying, don't be calling out him and his lurker buddies. But first things first. Now, obviously, this involves an element of speculation because doing the rounds again today has been some takeover talk and Ineos's 25% bid. We'll get to that in the 2 tweets from the Times. But first, according to reports, Sir Jim Ratcliffe has ordered a huge exodus with hundreds of jobs to be axed once his takeover is complete. Now, this goes beyond the playing staff. This is across the Manchester United employment register, from your cleaner to your cook to what have you. So he's looking to trim it down majorly. The Ineos chief is on the brink of completing his takeover, according to reports that is expected to be finalised in the next few weeks. Ratcliffe was initially hoping to purchase a majority stake, but he altered the structure of his bid to make it more appealing to the Glazer family. He's now set to buy 25% in the Premier League giant for around 1.25 billion. Sir Jim Ratcliffe's deal to buy 25% of Manchester United was in final negotiations this evening, according to the Times. The Ineos team and Glazer family are understood to have been working all week to try and complete paperwork in order to start the approval process. And he goes on to say that even if that is concluded on Friday, it'll be weeks into the new year before his stake can be fully ratified by Premier League and other regulators. But for the takeover speculation aside, Mr. B, there's talk of hundreds of jobs, ordinary common folk such as yourself and myself who are working in the industry being told your services are no longer required. Is it a case that Manchester United staff is so vast and unruly that this is necessary, or is this kind of ruthless profiteering? You're muted.
Sorry, man. Rebel, what I don't understand, he's taking 25% of the club, but he's gonna have the authority to axe a whole load of jobs. I don't understand it. Don't get me wrong. If if the playing squad we know is not the best, I'm going to assume that the scouting network around them and at the club probably isn't set up the best. But he's talk about losing hundreds. I mean, I assume that Manchester United worldwide employ thousands of people, but for him to have the authority to remove hundreds of people, he's only got his 25% is the playing side of the squad, that the football inside, which means then that he's going to be sacking or getting rid of hundreds of the football side of it. Look, Rebel, we know we talk a lot about this situation, and every day there seems to be another twist, should we say, in the story or the whole saga. I'll be honest, Rebel. I'm not even sure it's going to be done. He's going to be in charge before the season actually finishes, because he wanted to be in for January so that they could help, mold the January transfer window. And then it came out that it's not going to be this date. And now look, he's saying again, it might not be concluded until, and even if it is concluded, they can't take over until, you know what, United new sells. And a lot of it, I think, is bluster, to be fair. I'll be interested to see what side of the staff Man United are actually getting rid of. But let's not get he's not in it as a fan. Yes, he's a fan, but he's in it to make money. People see he's in it to make money. There's no way he's doing all of 1.25 billion as out of the goodness of his heart for the love of the club and the love of us fans. So it's not a surprise that he's stripping. He's going to start stripping things down. But look, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Interestingly, I was reminded of a tweet by X this morning. It was from our resident Liverpool fan, Bart, who's in and out of the chat from time to time. And he said at the time, I'm afraid that they might not sell this summer. The Adidas deal is the final nail in the coffin that confirms this. The lure prestige of owning Manchester United is just too much for them to give up. And here we are now, nearly 6-7 months down the track from when he wrote that tweet. And this takeover saga still remains. Now, Mr. B, there is going to be quite a bit of Super League related talk in the newspaper articles today. And interestingly, now again, this hasn't been confirmed by any reputable source, i.e. UEFA or the ESL, the European Super League organisation body, but it's believed that Ineos have accepted an invitation for Nice, their French-owned club, to participate in such a Super League. And obviously, given the English FA's, I suppose, anti-Super League rhetoric that we will be talking about later, this could complicate matters in terms of Ineos or Jim Ratcliffe acquisition.
As I said, Ribble, this story's got a lot of twists and a lot of turns. So one club has decided that he wants to take the Super League, but what is it? Because Nice don't have the money? Nice don't have the money to be generated. I mean, all the Premier League clubs have come out and said, then all the big ones, they're not interested in joining. They're not interested in joining, which is fine. But when it really comes down to it, when the money really talks, we'll see. Because if you notice, the Glazers aren't going anywhere. They knew this Super League talk was coming. So it's gonna drag on, Rebel. It's gonna drag on. Let me just get through some of these messages as well. Here we go. DK Wilson is saying United faking like they wouldn't want to join. Glazers are lying about the Super League. Everybody seems to be on that. Subvids is just replying to me saying about the secret listeners. We deserve better. Nice news to be told just before Christmas. Yeah, it's not nice something like that to be leaked. You've got all these people who probably don't even know what's going on, worried when the axe is going to fall. Andrew Williams, big up my guy. Big T saying, I think Jim's role is going to be bigger than they're letting on. Could that be why it's taken so long? Big T, Andrew Williams. Speculation at this point. I wouldn't waste too much energy on the ESL. Yeah, I just don't. It's not. We've got to bring it up. It's our Thursday news roundup, innit? Big T, the Glazers bringing in Jim. It's all about the Super League. The most money from the Super League will come from success. I'd argue the Super League is bringing us football structure. No point in getting our knickers in a twist about something that's not going to happen. You see, to a certain, that's kind of what I'm thinking. All of the clubs have said they're not interested. They're not going to do this. They signed the charter after the 2021. I just don't think there's going to be any Premier League joining. So I don't even think it's anything worth worrying about. I don't know how the Glazers feel that it's going to turn out, but I'm convinced that's why they're still lurking in the bushes. But I don't think it's going to make any difference, Rebel. I don't think there's going to be any English team. They'll kick them out of the Premier League. They will kick them out of the Premier League. So, you know, I don't think it's going to happen, Rebel, to be fair. I don't think it's going to happen.
And I suppose, as you pointed out, it is the news and media roundup. So whether we agree or not with the stories and the articles, I suppose we're just going to throw them out there, flap our gums on them, and obviously move on to football at the weekend. But seeing as we mentioned the Glazers, I am going to bring up this one next. And it's a BBC-related article saying that Manchester United fans have every right to be worried about the European Court of Justice ruling. Now, I didn't put all the article on the screen because it did kind of get quite wordy and quite lengthy. But the synopsis of it was that given that one of the Glazers was either the chair or co-chair of the original bid to establish European Super League, then given that it's now been found that they acted, that UEFA acted otherwise in accordance with competition law, it would not exactly be surprising if that particular member of that owning family attempted to resume his position as a chair / co-chair, founding member of ESL. And I suppose that's where the crux of this matter is going, even though the position that was issued by Manchester United Football Club earlier today is that they are committed to UEFA-related competition. We know that the Glazer family's businesses are struggling in the United States, that their shopping centres aren't generating the income to meet the interest repayments. Is it possible that this could be seen as a way to extradite themselves from business pressures, i.e. lack of money? You're muted again.
Yeah. My simple answer to that is yes, Rebel. Yes.
Also, a big up to Early Doors Football TV. He's given us a big shout out there. And Andrew Williams is saying he sympathises with discontent about UEFA and FIFA, but they have never been able to articulate a version of how this new project is anything other than a money grab. Now, interestingly, when you do speak about UEFA, apparently there was consideration today that the intent to change the formatting of Champions League might be reversed in a bid to dissuade Super League, i.e. retain the current format.
Well, they've changed it and it's coming in. I mean, I don't know how long it takes. It must be, you know, a good couple of years before they can lawfully change something that they've set up. So, yeah. UEFA and FIFA now, more UEFA than FIFA, are probably shitting themselves a bit, Rebel. But the Premier League teams are the one with the sway, money-wise. You've seen it already. It's just a way of the European clubs trying to close the financial gap. So I think it's a much of a muchness.
Yeah, and speaking of clubs, Mr. B, that does take me to kind of, I suppose, the last part of this old Super League suite of stories that has been dominating the pages today. And that is that Tottenham Hotspur and Chelsea Football Club have joined Manchester United in rejecting the opportunity to participate in Super League. Obviously, we know their League One rejected it en masse earlier today. Rushmano brought us that during the lunchtime 15-minute show that we'd done on the news breaking about Super League. But it does seem that once bitten, twice shy is the modus operandi of the English clubs at the moment.
Yeah, nobody's gonna want to say they're joining first. Rebel, they might have it in the back of their head, but they know that first one who says, regardless of if they've spoken to the other 5 or 6 teams or this, the first one to break cover is going to get battered. So I just don't see it. There's so much opposition fan base wise. Yes, and there was an article in there was a comment from somebody saying about fans. A club does, here we go. This is from Big T. A club does not need our home fans when they are playing in other countries, packing out stadiums with fans from the countries. Yeah, the Glazers have never shown any empathy towards the fans of our club, especially our club. Talk about our club. So I just can't see them suddenly being these wonderful, owners who are going to be, who care about what the fans think. It's all about their money. It's all about the money for them. So yeah, I just want to see who's going to be the first one to break cover if anybody does, Rebel.
Very true. And I just bringing this slide up from the earlier show. This was the statement that was issued by Manchester United Football Club about remaining fully committed to participation in UEFA competitions and having positive coordination with UEFA Premier League and fellow clubs through the ECA on a continued development of European game. And just to point out something that early doors did say, this was the statement from UEFA. Essentially, last year, it was established that there was a weakness in their rule set regarding the approval of other competitions, which has since been corrected. But it does not mean that this competition will get underfoot. The organising body needs subscribers from the major clubs for it to have sufficient value. Now, some of the speculation, and this is the last thing we'll do on the Super League tonight, that was surrounded in social media today was they were looking at a certain Saudi Pro League and the fact that they are not restricted by FFP, they are not restricted by the amount of money that they can put into their clubs. They have essentially a Wild West of football organization. And if you look at the NFL, the baseball, we see long-term ridiculous comments. The 39th game idea. I think, just to kind of finish the point, that when you look at LeBron James and he's signing €500 million contracts and whatnot, we do not want to see that replicated more than it has already been with certain players like Mbappe in, I think, the European game.
And Rashford. Let's not forget about the wedge of money that Rashford's on as well, bro.
This is true. This is very true. Even though Andrew Williams is saying that system of play worked very well for the NFL, but I suppose
he's talking about the 39th game, innit? He's talking about the 39th game. Yeah, I mean, Andrew Williams always wants to be poking the bear. I'm not even sure that can take off. The Premier League don't need any more money. They don't need to be making any more money, Rebel. You know what I mean? I understand everybody wants to generate that little bit more. I get that. I do understand that 100%. But there has to be a level where you just say, enough is enough. Black Bolt, Blazers are ruthless, incompetent business people. The Grain Group are the ultimate puppet masters, even in all.
Actually,
Andrew Williams, saying one game overseas seems a bad idea. I dislike it, but it's more plausible than the other ideas. And
just
early doors. Sorry, one sec more, Rebel. I've won this, and then I'm gonna go. You know me already. So the new SL wants 64 teams over 3 tiers with promotion and relegation, plus a women's tournament. They want to they want to promote both as deal breakers. Right, Rebel. Sorry about that, brother.
no worries. I was actually going to ask the comments regarding this tweet up here from Miguel Delaney that I read out earlier on in the earlier show. He's saying the initial reading that this is a huge win for ESL is misguided. The ruling basically means the rules on pre-authorization UEFA had at the time were unlawful. They can still have such rules, and those rules have already been changed. So he's kind of, I suppose, putting cold water on for Inter Perez's mirth and joy that Real Madrid and Barcelona had succeeded in such a ruling. And for those that are interested, that's the structure of, the structure of the new European brand, but I'm not going to get into that any further. I am going to bring us back to the topics today, and we have been talking about our lack of goals. We have
Rumors,
talked about
transfer rumors.
we have been talking about Serhu Guirassy previously on another one of these roundups, and obviously the need for Highland to have a senior figure. Now, 17.5 million euros of a release clause is a pittance in the modern game, Mr. B. I think we'll both agree that. However, he hasn't got a history of scoring a quantum of goals season in, season out. And there would be a concern that this season is his Rashford season from last year and that he's been punching above his goal scoring weight. But at that price point, is it worth a gamble regardless of whether he turns out to be sticking it up?
Before this season, I'd never heard of him, Rebel. I like the fact that I've never heard of him. That part of it I do like. The fact that it's not, you know, the normal main ones, the normal strikers that everybody's linked with. We do need another striker. My issue is like Stephanie Griffiths is saying, transfer loans incoming. We had to sell, you know, the Grandad Silver to loan out the players to get Amrabat on loan. I can't see. I would like to think that they've got money and something's been arranged, but how much of these players that we're linked with that we talk about will actually come to the club?
Probably
You know,
about
during the window.
0.01%.
There you go. You know, yeah, his name's been out there, but Tadebo's name was out there the whole of the summer, and now all of a sudden it seems like he might be going to Tottenham. The fact that we are going to get the players that we've been circling and looking for, and that they're now going to Tottenham, I think is just a sign of how the football, not even the football market, how Man United's pulling power has waned in the last few years. I want a striker like anything else. When they come in, you back them. You do. You want to be excited. Look, we're back in Hoyland at the moment. He's new, he's fresh, but he's doing no more than Martial's been doing, and we've had enough of Martial. So everything changes in time. When the player's new, you've got that excitement. You give them that leeway. You know, he hasn't scored, he'll score the next one. And then before you know it, they've been at the club 10 years and they haven't even scored 100 goals. You know, so we're going to be linked with everybody, Rebel. We're going to be linked with everybody at a certain price. Let's not get it twisted. I think there's going to be figures that we could only, you know, we'll hear that a player's going to be going for 60 million. We know we're not interested in that. But 17.5 billion euros, what's that? 15 million pound? I suppose, yeah, it's something that maybe could work for them, for the club. Not for us necessarily, but for the club.
Actually, interestingly, before we continue with the striker, you mentioned Amrabat, and it was believed that the decision was made today that his loan will not be made permanent following, I suppose, lack of.
I mean, Rebel. And this sums up the mess that we're in, right? He ran him down the whole summer, didn't let him train with his team. We've got him in. I'm not going to say his performances deserve a contract, but surely you don't let the person know they're leaving 6 months before the season's finished? What if he wants to stay? What if this was his you know, the pinnacle of his career, and now we've taken away from him, or it's rumored that his contract's not going to be renewed. So what gives him, what is going to make him step up his performances, you know, to raise his game? Because guess what, next season he's not going to be here. Win, lose or draw every game, he still gets paid. You know, I just I people are releasing stuff. Yeah, I understand he hasn't been great. I understand he hasn't been great, but he's still better than what we've got. And if he wasn't there, we would have been in a bigger mess.
True. And I suppose, interestingly, part of the deal that was done for that Amrabat loan, Mr. B, was that regardless of his position with his contract, which is out in the summer, Manchester United, to retain him, would have had to commit a fee to bring him on a permanent basis, because it would have been seen as, I suppose, a bit unfair for Manchester United to sign him for free, when, if it was going to be a transfer, that they should have paid a fee for him when they signed him at the end of last summer. So that was part of the commitment that was made, is regardless of the fact that he's a free agent, Manchester United is locked in a legally binding contract to pay a transfer fee for him should they
Yeah, how
wish
much
to
do you think?
retain his services.
Yeah, but what do you think it would be, Rebel? They've already spunked 10 million, so
I
we're not
believe
going to get that back in.
it's another 20 to 25 to retain, as far as I understand.
So it would be 35 altogether, and this is pounds, not euros.
Correct.
Oh shit, he ain't done. He ain't proved he's worth that. Well, yeah, let's be honest, he ain't proved he's worth that, is he? I would like him to step up for the rest of the season and you know, let the club change. All he can do now is let the club try and change their mind if that's decisions that's been made.
Very true. Do you want to hit some comments there, Mr. B? Because there is some chat around
Yes. Okay.
transfers.
So we have got Timo Werner could be our level. Please God, no. I mean, I did hear somebody say maybe we'll work backwards. Maybe we'll get a shit player and turn them good instead of getting shit players and turning them bad. Andrew Williams. Plus, you guys, did you know Black China is currently earning 20 million a month on OnlyFans? That it must be lined in gold for that kind of money. To be fair, Andrew, Jesus Christ. Here we go. Zoe, we don't need strikers, we need creators. No point if Bruno is the only player out there to create and can't because he is shite. Yeah, I agree. We need unselfish players. We need players who want to assist. Big T saying Amrabat own goals incoming. Yeah, because he's going to be sulking. Oh, Solo with just 100% positivity. We are a mess. United at it again. How you doing, Solo? I missed your call. I don't know if it was this morning or yesterday. Give me a bell after the show if you're still awake, mate. I apologize, but I've been run off my feet. Here we go. No wonder McTominay is only on 5 goals when he's not getting the service. And Stephanie's asking one here. Is Reguilon going back to Spurs? I don't think it's Spurs. I think it's somebody else. Wasn't there a German club linked with him, because we've got a break clause in the contract in January. Look, he's not wanted at Spurs, so they're not going to want to take him back. So they're going to do whatever they can to get him off the wage bill. They're not overly bothered where he goes. I would keep him and get rid of Malacia, Rebel. I would keep him and get rid of Malacia, to be fair. But look, we'll see what happens. There's one more here from DK. I'd wager if the wings are playing better and Bruno had someone other than McTominay near, Bruno would look a lot way better than he does. Yeah, we just talk about team formations and team structures and going in on certain players. Yeah, I know the fine's incoming. And Big T saying midfielders before forwards or defenders. A team is built midfielders before forwards or defenders. A team is built from the back. So he's probably saying get defenders first. So go on.
I suppose, interestingly, having seen Bruno Guimaraes perform for Newcastle, some people are kind of wondering, do we bring in the wrong Bruno? But there is one more topic for us to discuss. 18 of you in the chat, please do like, share, subscribe. We do appreciate you being here with us tonight and going through all these newspaper and media stories with us. But this is the final story of the 2023 newspaper roundup, and that is that 6-goal Anthony could be replaced with a player that has a Real Madrid past and would cost Manchester United the princely sum of 43 million. So I don't know about you, Mr. B, but I don't think there's 43 million euros down the back of the sofa. But it is the Sun, and Andrew, we did say it was from the newspapers.
Yeah, and this is why, Andrew, this is why we saved it till last. Obviously, look, we don't want to be talking about the takeover that's not going to happen or the takeover that's dragging on. So we have to bring up stuff that's out there. We don't decide these topics, and we put the Sun. Yeah, we put the Sun one because we knew it was probably going to get to you. The Sun, we know what they're like, but this is our final topic. So whether it lasts 4 minutes, whether it lasts 6 minutes, then that's why it's up there. You know, I said we know what we know what they like. We know what they like. But look, we've got it out there. It's the last one, and we're filling a gap. So we're filling it with the Sun. Yeah. Sorry, Rebel, go.
And then I'll be driving home for Christmas.
Where are you going? Oh, were you out as well?
I'm out the gap after this evening. I am gone until the new year.
Oh my God! Well, it looks like me and OMONDI are going to be doing a little bit of overtime. But look, just be safe, man. Be safe.
But let's crack into this one because it is a bit of a nothing story. But the topic that I'm going to come back to is, of course, Anthony. But the person we're linked with is Real Sociedad's Take Kubo, a 22-year-old who has already scored 6 goals and 3 assists in the year 2023-24. And he previously played for Real Madrid and spent time in Barcelona's academy, having signed for La Real for just 5.5. But here's the thing. Anthony was kind of the star-studded, samba-licious, all singing, all dancing winger that Eric Ten Hag wanted to bring in to add a bit of flair, a bit of excitement, get the pulses racing in that Manchester United football team. And as yet, he has not got to the races. He's flattered to deceive. At times, he's been majestic, but it just seems that he doesn't learn from his experiences on the pitch in English football. There was a time when Cristiano Ronaldo used to get battered by a pundit by the name of Eamon Dunphy here in Ireland. They used to call him a show pony or a one-trick pony and said that he was a fraud and a flop. And if he was still doing punditry today, I could imagine him saying something similar about Anthony. Is it a case that Manchester United dropped the ball by not taking them for the 30-odd million that they could have gotten him at an earlier stage, and ultimately we overpaid and that's on us? Or should Anthony kind of have seized the day and made that jersey his?
All right. So, yeah, we did overpay. But Rebel, even if we had paid 40 million euros instead of the double it, what we paid, his output has still been the same. He wouldn't have scored or any less if he had come in for 35 million, if he had come into for 45 million. So this is his level. I think Ten Hag has to hold up his hand and say that this player's he's not going to be good. He's not going to be good. Onana has come in first 6 months. You can see what he adds to the team. You could also see what he takes away from the team. I'm not going to look here and say that he's been perfect. But Anthony, week in, week out, does nothing, Rebel. He works up, yeah, he will run up the wing. He's better defensively. He's better as a defensive winger than he is as an offensive winger. So maybe they should be trying to play Matt, right back, if that's the case, because at the moment, I don't think he does. There's a lot of players who don't do what they're supposed to do. It's no slight on him. If a big club's gonna come in for you, offer you mega wages, you're not gonna say no. You're gonna back your ability. But we've seen him long enough to know that I don't think he's the right one. And maybe these are the kind of deals that has pissed off Sir Jim. We moaned, oh, we keep spunking money, we keep throwing money down the drain. But last season we did it again. You know what I mean? Casemiro, 70 million. I'm not saying I like Casemiro, but for 70 million, you're thinking, Jesus. Anthony, again, overpaid again. And this is when we knew as a club, and they know as owners, all we do is overspend. They did it again. So unless that changes and stops, then they're still going to be booming, boom, 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 boom. And they've got Stephanie. I've just seen a reply from Andrew Williams, so I'm going to assume that Stephanie. Here we go. This is Stephanie Griffiths. Play Anthony on the left to use that wonder of a left foot is definitely worth a go. Eric used him occasionally like that at Ajax, if I recall. I mean, we've been calling it. I know there's a vogue. Oh, you want them to cut inside, blah, blah, blah. But surely, if you're left-footed, Shaw goes in. He doesn't worry about cutting inside when he sends his crosses in. You know what I mean? Send him in. Hoyland's a big lump of a forward. Yeah, maybe it's not the style of play that Ten Hag wants to play, but it might be the style of play that actually benefits our forwards.
Here's the interesting thing, though, about the left wing. There's one problem of an Argentinian nature that would prevent Anthony from getting regular game time, and his name is the star boy, Garnacho.
Yeah, do you know what? I was more thinking about Anthony and Rashford's. I forgot about Starboy. So yeah, Anthony probably does have to go then, Ribble. I don't think he really has that option. You can't have all these players who nobody wants to play on the bloody right.
Very true. Mr. B, do you want to hit a few comments before we kind of sum up our thoughts for the evening?
Yeah. So Big G saying some wiggers in the Premiership are actually better than Anthony. Andrew Williams is saying Grealish won the treble last year. Rice started slow, but he's getting really good. I think they're talking about the prices of players. Unfortunately, he is attempting to live up to that contract. I don't think he will ever be a top level player in the Premier League. I don't. But one thing he is though now, he's rich. He's rich. So Grealish didn't win the treble. That was Gundogan. Grealish is a flop. And okay. Allegedly.
Moving along.
Wingers need to get to the byline and cross. Put Garnacho on the right as well. Oh, okay. Surprise, surprise. You've stayed silent until something comes up that you've agreed with. So I was look, if it means that I have to agree with you, Solo, then no, I disagree. I think Anthony should stay for another 5 years and become a legend of the club.
Brilliant.
Here we go. Big G. Can we stop calling Garnacho store boy? Yes, he scored a worldie, but he's miles away from Giggs level. He's no star yet. Big G. Go, Rebel.
I suppose, you see, when you talk about Giggs on his on-field play, I'm going to preface that we're talking solely about his football. We associate club legend, prolific. There's a lot of adjectives you could attach to Mr. Ryan Giggs and what he's done on the field. When you talk about, I suppose, people brandish Starboy maybe a bit loosely now. Obviously, Arsenal talked about Saka, Sharkinelli, and a few others for a while. We had Garnacho. We had a player that we don't name anymore that's not playing for the club at the moment. At one point, that had the world at his feet. We had Rooney at one point. If you have, I suppose, a grow for the talents and you see what he could potentially be, I suppose the moniker Starboy is probably kind of your faith in that player and your belief that they'll be a success for Manchester United Football Club. And obviously, down the line, other adjectives will replace that Starboy moniker. You'll be calling him goal fiend, or you'll be calling him prolific, or eventually, if he makes it that far, club legend. So I know that people don't like the title that we're putting on him, but again, I suppose in a season where not a lot is going well, Garnacho's one of the few lights that are keeping us alive and keeping us on the straight and narrow.
Well, so we go. Big T saying we all know Garnacho will go to Real Madrid like his idol did. Enjoy him for now because he's not going to be long term. Well, there's a lot of negativity kind of ish going on there. Zoe, Grealish is flawed. He acts like his best mate is Tommy Robertson. He's a hooligan drunk from Birmingham. And Zoe's saying she's from Birmingham. Stephanie, will Ahmad get a chance in the new year? His best position is on the right. Yeah, look, he can't do any worse than Anthony, can he? It would be interesting to see if he is going to get some game time. If Ten Hag is going to, let's not even throw him in. He's going to see him going train see him in training every other day. Solo, Garnacho isn't anywhere near that star boy level yet. Big G saying just call him a talent. All right, we're going to call him a talent from now on instead of star boy. Although he did score the season's best goal so far this season, but yeah, we want that. Andrew Williams, DK Wilson. Andrew Williams is a ray of light in the. Oh fuck me, I don't know what he said, but yeah, it's up there so you can read it. Big T, Fred was our star boy. Yeah, Errol. I'm sure Solar would agree with you there. Look, right on cue. Look at that. Boom. There you go.
Well, Mr. B, that does bring us towards the end of the show. We have covered quite a few topics over the last 3 or 4 weeks on Thursday nights. Some of them are as, I suppose, substantial as a passing fart, whereas others might have a bit more behind them. But it has been a pleasure reviewing these stories with you during 2023. We will wish everybody in I will wish everyone in the Man United Agenda family a happy Christmas and a joyous new year. And I will talk to you in 2024. I will leave you in the capable hands of the whining and dining OMONDI Juma, who's probably at this moment taking a ring out of his pocket, bending on one knee and popping a question. I joke, I jest. But, Mr. B, what's coming up before we sign off?
We have the preview tomorrow. We've got the takeaway tomorrow. We have the watch along on Saturday. That's an early one. 12:30 kickoff, so we should be on from between 12 and 12:15. Sunday, I think Sunday and Monday will be days of rest. I know I was contemplating. Somebody's put up about a Christmas Day special where we're drunk. You know what? I did contemplate doing that. Jumping on and talking about absolute whatever. It might be Ray and Nephew induced, but I'm not going to say it won't happen. It might do, but if you hit the notification bell, you'll know. But we are definitely back tomorrow. It'll be me and Monday tomorrow doing a preview. We'll work out who we've got, but yeah, I'm looking forward to the game on Saturday. 12:30 games we normally do really shit in, but I'm actually looking forward to see how it goes.
Absolutely. Well, on behalf of David Moist, on behalf of Mr. Pink, I'm going to wish you all a very good evening and good night.